Stand up! Stand up! There's me, Mum! Hello!
I know you know the Doctor Who as a hot mum. I mean, it's just frightening, isn't it?
How did she make the case? Just by begging me not to do it, trying to persuade me not to do it, and but it's, oh gosh, it's so hard to leave, and you constantly think you've made a terrible decision, but I don't know, it's, I've had a good innings, and I think you've got to be grateful for what you've done. So, and I very much am, and I'm really pleased with Christmas. I think it was a wonderful script, and you know, I sort of wish I'd had another year with Jen. That would have been nice. I think we could have really evolved together. But you know, I hand over to the great Mr. Capaldi, and I'm very excited to see what he does. Even with one look, you go, wow, what's he thinking? I think it does. You know, I think he has such sort of stuff as a Doctor. So. It's quite sad though, it was quite sad to believe. Yes, articulate.
And without telling us anything that would spoil anything for us,
yeah.
How did you feel at that moment of handing on this part?
Annoyed. Sort of annoyed and bereaved. It's strange, it's a strange thing. Weirdly, I said to David, when did I see him? I saw David, we did Graham Norton, and just before we went on, and I said, I never thought to think how hard it was for you, because I was just so nervous about coming in. And he was like, well, of course you didn't. And it's weird, you just don't really think, it's such a hard thing to let go of, because it is such a sort of family experience when you're in it, all this sort of stuff, and yeah. But, you know, that's what the show's about. It gets a new lick of paint, it gets a new character, a new TARDIS, and, you know, that's why we're here, celebrating 50 years.
Yeah, but you retain the title, Matt. You're
yes.
still the Doctor. You never stop being the Doctor,
but
you know that.
Can you still sign things, the Doctor?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Don't you, like, have to put your number, like 11 or like something?
No, you don't. You're the Doctor. There's a very small number of people who really know how to tackle the Dalek, and you're one of them.
It's really sad. I've gone to sign cheques before and put the Doctor.
Then it really was time for you to leave, mate.
Yeah. And like,
have they been accepted?
No. Really sadly as well, like when me and David were sort of making when we were making the anniversary special, I'd start like signing off to him 11, and he'd sign off 10, and it was just, it was really, really ridiculous.
This isn't the part though that you can leave behind, really, is it? There'll always be a part of you that's connected.
I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud that I've got to do it and have a go, and I've come through it. You know, I didn't even know if I'd get through a year. You know, you don't know if they're going to give you the elbow. So I'm pleased that I did 4. Very, very pleased.
And what about you, Steven? How is that? What feelings does that moment of transition stir in you?
Well, it's not the fiction that stirs anything in you, it's the fact. And my mate Matt's leaving the show, and we joined together.
Yeah.
And we've had, I mean, this is the last day that we will do panels together about Doctor Who. And that's, so, what's it like losing Matt? I think dig as deep as you like, talk to as many people as you won't find anyone with a negative story about Matt Smith, not one single person. Marcus Wilson always says he tries to get Matt as early as possible. I'm sorry about this, Matt, we can tell you this now. As early as possible to the set before he's needed, because the crew move faster if he's there. Bounding onto the set every day, joyously. He hugs everybody, he says hello to everybody, he remembers the names of everybody's kids. He's been such an extraordinary ambassador for the show. And while he's as you can see, he's not really like the Doctor. He's quite a gentleman. All that eccentricity was performance, but I can honestly say that the way Matt carried himself as the Doctor is something of which the Doctor would be immensely proud.
It's really
I know.
I love panels. You know, talk about yourself for like an hour. Yeah. It's like open group therapy.
And how much are you going to miss him, Jenna?
Oh my goodness.
How long have you got?
It's going to be. It's what the show is. I can't quite contemplate it because we're not there yet. And what will happen is we'll go off on a different journey. But I think what you kind of realise is it's this kind of amazing moment of time, and you just realise you're never going to get that again together. And I think so much of the last episode for me felt like that, and felt like, you know, I'm going to be 60 years old, and I always look back on, you know, my time with my first Doctor and with Matt, and it's just a very special, and it just, you know, it feels so soon as well, so soon between the two of us. So I think, he's just, I think he's one of the greatest Doctors, and the best actor I've ever worked with.
Whoa!
No, he didn't hug my legs. You know, see that?
Your legs aren't as pretty.
And how is he to direct Nick? I mean, after all of this, I'm half expecting to hear that he's absolute
A
nightmare.
royal pain in the arse.
No, as Steven says, there is not a moment Matt doesn't give it 100% and with great pleasure, and it inspires everybody on the set. I was going to say, though, that there was an amazing connection between Matt and David, because when David came back and put on that suit once again, it's like Matt leaving, there was this sense of what this huge thing is that you are as a Doctor. And there was a real connection between you two of we've shared this experience together, and you both have that same thing of having left it behind, have to say enough is enough. But it was great to work, absolutely great to work with Matt.
And what does it say to you about the power of Doctor Who itself? This extraordinary kind of unexpected concept that seems bigger than anybody involved with it, bigger than anything we could imagine, almost like a kind of life of itself, isn't it? It's like a kind of, if it was in Doctor Who, it would be some kind of powerful entity, wouldn't it?
But you know, that's the very essence of the show, and I've always said, you know, the show is the star. That's the thing, you know, and I've been lucky enough to sort of to drive it, as it were, to fly it for 3 or 4 years, but the show is always the thing that people return to, which is why it crosses generations, which is why it will continue and go on and snowball and get bigger, and that is the real brilliance of it, I think.
What do you think, Jenna? What is the source of its power? Why does it have this appeal? Why is it so big in all of our lives?
I think it's the basic format of you can travel anywhere in space and time, and who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want to imagine? I think that's it. It's the imagination and the kind of the adventure at the heart of it, and there's something so kind of magical and human that everybody can relate to, whether it be my grandma or my niece, and it's kind of infinite. It offers up infinite possibilities. You can recast the Doctor. You'll never get bored of seeing somebody enter the TARDIS for the first time, and I think that is why it's lasted for 50 years and will keep on continuing.
Can you imagine life without Doctor Who, Stephen? Imagine that parallel world where it never happened.
Oh,
what would it be like?
It wouldn't be as good. I mean, but I know, yeah, that's. It's hard to say how we talk about the importance of an imaginary hero. But heroes are important. Heroes tell us something about ourselves. History books tell us who we used to be. Documentaries tell us who we are now. But heroes tell us who we want to be. And a lot of our heroes depress me. But, you know, when they made this particular hero, they didn't give him a gun. They gave him a screwdriver to fix things. They didn't give him a tank or a warship or an X-wing fighter. They gave him a call box from which you can call for help. And they didn't give him a superpower or pointy ears or a heat ray. They gave him an extra heart. They gave him 2 hearts. And that's an extraordinary thing. There will never come a time when we don't need a hero like the Doctor. Happy birthday, Doctor Who.
It's time now to open this out to you in the audience. If you have a question for anybody, okay, raise your hand as you're